Hey, what's up, you guys? So today, I'm going to be talking about why I'm very butthurt and triggered right now. I'm in a exceptionally pretty shitty mood today. Why? I mean, I don't know. Yesterday I had a bunch of unexpected bullshit pop up, and it just took up way more. Like I had other plans to get other shit done, but I didn't have the time range to get that shit done because of all this other shit that came up. For example, I mean, you know what? I don't even feel like getting into it. Maybe that'll be for a different video. But anyways, today I'm just feeling really butthurt because of just all this shit I keep dealing with people switching up on me. It's like my entire life is this fucking just nightmare Twilight Zone horror story where people will seem pretty good for a while, like days, weeks, months, even years. Then they'll act completely different and betray me. And I'm like, what the fuck, you know? How was I supposed to see this coming, you know? And it's like, there's gonna be a lot of fucking dumbass cunts who are gonna tell you, oh, it's your fault. They're gonna sit back on their fucking fat ass and bark at you. Oh, it's all your fault. If you think you can, you think you can't. You're right. It's all your fault. They'll say or imply that it's all your fault somehow, but they're never really gonna tell you why it's your fault or what you're supposed to do differently. Yeah, they're not gonna give you any actual good advice. They're not gonna give you a crystal ball that they apparently expect you to have, right? They're not going to act. They're not actually helping you. They're not actually giving you reasonable, solid advice. You know, they're sitting back and screaming that it's your fault without even telling you why or what you're supposed to do differently. You know, like that is so fucked up. That is so fucked up, and a lot of people do that shit, especially in this whole self-help community. You know, yeah, you'll see people say that, like, oh, everything bad that's ever happened to you is your fault. And if you disagree, you're wrong. Okay, how? Because let me tell you something. I look at other situations that other people are in, and I think to myself, man, what the fuck are they supposed to do in that situation? Like literally, I'm thinking to myself, like some people are in such a fucking nightmare, just hopeless situation that I have no idea what they should do, you know, to improve the situation, right? Like they're in such a fucked up state of being. I feel horrible for those people, you know, but but yeah, I mean, like this whole bait and switch thing, it's fucking up my life. It's destroying my sanity. It's destroying my health. It's just destroyed the quality of my life. I mean, the overwhelming majority of pain and suffering I've experienced has come directly from fucking people treating me like shit. You know, it has. Okay, and I just can't handle this shit, man. I just can't handle this shit. Like, this is so fucked up. Oh, but you can't kill yourself. Why? Because suicide is never the answer. And if you do kill yourself, you're a bad, selfish person. Yes, if you want non-consenting torture to stop, you're a bad person. You're the asshole. But you know who's not the asshole? Your parents who brought you here without your consent. They're not assholes. They're not selfish pricks, okay? They're kind, loving empaths, all right? And all the people who are going to bully you and try to, you know, guilt trip and psychologically coerce you, you know, in many cases physically coerce you into staying here against your will. Oh yes, the people who force you to put up with psychological torture against your will, people who force you to put up with torture in general against your will. Oh, they're not assholes. They love you, right? They're kind, loving empaths. Yeah. So you can't kill yourself, right? Because that's bad, you know. Suicide's never the answer, okay? Saying no to non-consensual torture is never the answer, right? And if you want to get the fuck out of here, if you want non-consenting torture to stop, you're the asshole. You're the bad person. Yeah, that's apparently what I'm supposed to say, right? I'm required to say that, or else I get thrown into a mental hospital, or else I get or thrown into a cage, right? Because I'm pretty sure some jurisdictions, at least, if you even encourage someone to kill themselves, that's, you know, like murder. Like they count that as murder or some shit, you know. But yeah, suicide's never the answer, y'all. It's never the answer. Okay, I'm, you know, we're forced to say that, right? Seriously, man. I mean, hypothetically speaking, of course, you know, if voluntary euthanasia was legalized, I mean, how many people do you think will get the fuck out of here? A lot, probably. I mean, I think there's, what was I gonna say? I mean, there's just so. I mean, I don't know what the fuck else to say, dude. I'm kind of losing my train of thought. Um, I mean, if voluntary euthanasia was legalized, I mean, there'd probably be a shit ton of people who would, take advantage of it, right? Because think about it. Like, this is strictly hypothetical, of course. Okay. In reality, suicide is never the answer. And if you want to kill yourself, you're a bad person, right? If you want non-consenting torture to stop, you're the asshole, right? Okay, so yeah, I would give that disclaimer, right? All seriousness, that's the disclaimer, okay? But hypothetically speaking, of course, if voluntary euthanasia was legal, hypothetically speaking, I mean, why wouldn't someone just take advantage of it to get the fuck out of here, I mean, no one chose to be here. And honestly, man, the dumbasses who say that they chose to be here, like these new age victim-blaming dumbasses, a lot of people in general, even outside the new age movement, will seriously make that claim that they chose to be here, that their souls somehow magically consented to being here. Well, get this. First of all, they have no fucking proof whatsoever to back up their claims, right? Yeah, they have no proof to back up their claim that they chose to be here. They have no proof whatsoever, all right? They have no proof that a soul even exists, Like, they have no proof whatsoever, so that's the first thing I need to point out. But secondly, I mean, no, honestly, man, I very highly doubt that anybody in a sound, rational state of mind would seriously give true informed consent to come to a world that's as fucked up and dangerous and malevolent and evil as this, I highly doubt that anybody in a sound, rational state of mind would seriously give true informed consent to be here for even one fucking second. Because this world is dangerous as fuck, Let me tell you something. Yesterday, I got a relatively minor injury, but it could have been exponentially worse, right? Like what happened was there was a large, sharp metal object that fell off a table, and by reflex, I caught it with my hands, right? But I cut up my hands in the process. They're relatively minor cuts, and they'll probably heal fine within the next few days, or maybe within the next week or so. So I'm currently not seriously injured, fortunately. But I'm thinking to myself, holy fuck, man, like that could have chopped off my fucking toes, And I was not wearing, I was wearing fucking flip-flops, dude. So yeah, obviously from here on out, I'm gonna be wearing steel-toed boots and gardening gloves, so I'm working with that sort of fucking equipment, right? But I mean, like holy fuck, I mean, it seemed like it was actually a good reflex for me to catch that shit with my hands, because the minor cut on my hands was going to be far less severe than it falling at a more fuller force, closer to the ground, right? Like I caught it with my hands when it was like just as it was falling, right? But it didn't really have that much momentum. But like if it did just free fall to the ground without my hand stopping at all, it could have very possibly landed on my fucking feet and chopped off my fucking toes, Now that did not happen. I feel lucky that didn't happen. I feel like I'm lucky that I only got some minor scrapes in my hand, So nothing that bad happened to me this time around. But I'm thinking, oh my god, I feel so horrible for all these fucking people who did get their toes chopped off from some shit like this, And the sad reality is that even if you do take all these extra precautions, I mean, there is still always going to be some kind of chance that something horrible is going to happen to you, no matter what you fucking do. Like even if you take every single precaution that you possibly can take, there's always going to be that Russian roulette type of chance that something really fucked up is going to happen to you. Like, take for example, all right, when I was a kid, okay, and wow, two stories come to mind, okay, two fucking stories come to mind. But to save time, I'm just gonna give one of those stories, all right. So there was this guy who was a parent of a kid in my elementary school, all right? And guess what happened to him, okay? While he was driving home from work, a tree branch fell onto his fucking car, and it caused him to crash and die, all right? And I mean, like how are you supposed to avoid that, right? Like what kind of precautions should you have taken to avoid, I mean, you can't avoid that shit. There's no precaution you could take to avoid that. Like, how the fuck are you supposed to avoid a tree branch just falling onto your fucking car while you're driving and causing you to wreck, If anything, I mean, you could say that he got lucky that he died instead of getting, like, horribly crippled for life in ICU, I mean, think about it, Like, that could have been a horrible injury. He could have gotten his entire fucking face burned off. He could have, become a quadriplegic, just completely incapacitated for the rest of his life in ICU. That, in my opinion, is probably worse than just, dying an instant death. You know what I mean? Although I don't know if he actually died an instant death. I don't know how quickly he died, but I do know that he did die. And it's like, there's just all this fucked up shit that can happen to you through no fault of your own, no matter how many precautions you take. You know what I'm saying? And it's just fucked up, man. It's so fucked up, okay? Like, and yeah, I mean, I just look around, I'm thinking, man, this world is so fucking dangerous, right? Like how, okay, oh, this is strictly hypothetical, of course, and in all seriousness, suicide's bad. It's never the answer, okay? But hypothetically speaking, of course, I mean, if voluntary euthanasia was legalized, I mean, why the fuck would someone want to be in an environment this dangerous, right? Like maybe some people simply think to themselves, oh, hey, this world is just too fucking dangerous for me. Like, I don't want to be in a world that's this fucking dangerous, okay, and this fucking evil and malevolent. And plus, when you consider the fact that we're going to die at some point anyways, like, why spend an extra few years or a few decades here, and risk having even more horrifying shit happen to me through no fault of my own, when I could just, get this whole death thing over with sooner rather than later, I mean, think about it, okay? Like, why, if it were truly a free country, I mean, why shouldn't people be allowed to have the freedom to pick when they die, Because you're going to die at some point anyways, right? Like, all these fucking suicide shamers, like, all they fucking do is bully people, right? They bully people into putting up with non-consenting torture, non-consenting danger and risk. That's what they do, is it not? That's what they fucking do, That is what they fucking do, all right? And it's pretty fucked up once you stop and think about it, okay? It's pretty fucked up once you stop and think about it. And it's just evil, man. I mean, it's just so fucking evil, Like, I mean, the fact that you're brought into this dangerous fucking world non-consensually to begin with, that's already bad enough, okay? Like, that is already bad enough. But then, once you're here, you're not even allowed to get the fuck out when you want to, and you're told that you're some kind of asshole, you're some kind of selfish douche if you want non-consenting torture to stop, if you want non-consenting danger and risk to stop. Like, what the hell, man? I'm telling you, man, suicide shamers are nothing but a bunch of fucking bullies. And they're despicable. They're despicable, disgusting bullies, alright? Like, they don't have any type of good argument on their side. All they have is bullying. All they do is might makes right. Oh, if you kill yourself, we're going to gang up on you and shame you and throw you into a fucking cage if you seriously claim that you have serious plans of going through with killing yourself, Like, what the hell, What the fuck? That is just... This is evil, man. This is like an evil situation. Like all these fucking... Like, every single sentient being here was brought here non-consensually to begin with, right? And that's already bad enough, okay? That's already bad enough. They have all this danger and pain and suffering forced upon them without their consent. But then, if they want to get the fuck out, if they want to get this whole death thing over with sooner rather than later, oh, they're told no, you can't do that. Just you saying that you want to do that is some kind of horrible offense. Like, how fucking evil is that? That is so fucking evil, okay? So yeah, in closing, alright? In closing, okay, disclaimer, I gotta give the disclaimer, okay? Suicide is bad, alright? Suicide is never the answer, okay? And if you want to kill yourself, you're a bad, selfish person, okay? But hypothetically speaking, of course, if suicide, or if voluntary euthanasia was legalized, I mean, Like, why? I don't know. First of all, hypothetically speaking, of course, don't you think that voluntary euthanasia should be legalized? Yeah, I mean, think about it. This is supposed to be a free fucking country. It's supposed to be America. Okay? It's supposed to be America, right? I thought this was America. Seriously, I thought that this was fucking America. This is supposed to be a free country. And oh, by the way, everyone is gonna die at some point, anyways, right? So it's like, so if you prevent someone from killing themselves, okay, well that's just going to delay their inevitable death, right? So like, especially when you consider the fact that they're already going to die at some point, like why should people not be allowed to pick when they die? You know, I mean, think about it, okay? Think about it. Just fucking think about it, you know? Like, what the fuck? Alright, that's about all I gotta say for today. Bye.